Uses of demonstratives. In the last module, I indicated that the article plays a distinctive role in distinguishing demonstrative pronouns from demonstrative adjectives. Let's now take a look at these two, the pronouns and the adjectives, in a bit more detail. The pronouns, these are the characteristics of pronouns, demonstrative pronouns. First of all, they agree in gender and number with the noun that they're associated with. They don't agree in person because demonstratives don't have person. They generally precede the noun. They have no article. This is what I mentioned before. It's a key thing. They are the subject of the sentence, and the verb is implied. So if they're the subject of the sentence, then and the verb is implied, what we're talking about here are nominal sentences, sentences that have no verbs. So a pronoun is often used there, and a pronoun can be, you can have a personal pronoun being used that way, or you can have a demonstrative pronoun, and sometimes you really can't tell the difference. Let me give you an example here. So here we have ze haish. Now we know this is a demonstrative pronoun because it's, well, first of all, it's a pronoun rather than an adjective because there's no article on it. Okay? It's ze is masculine singular, haish is masculine singular, so they agree in gender number, and it is preceding the noun, so that is consistent with the normal usage for demonstrative pronouns. Has no article, so we know it's not an adjective, and it is a subject. This is the man. And the verb is implied. Now if we look at another example, hu haish, so this is the man, is what this sentence would be. This one could be, he is the man, or it could be that is the man. Because remember, who can be used as the far demonstrative as well as the personal pronoun. Now, how you distinguish the two, I don't know. Seems to me they're really quite close in meaning. If you say he is the man, or if you say that is the man, I guess it would be context that would tell you that your focus is on far versus near, and then you'd call it a demonstrative pronoun, as opposed to a personal pronoun, he is the man. But in any case, it's not an adjective. Adjective would have to have the article here. So let's look at adjectives, demonstrative adjectives. Like demonstrative pronouns, they agree in gender and number. With the noun they modify. They don't agree in person because, again, demonstrative adjectives don't have person, just like demonstrative pronouns don't have person. They usually follow the noun. This is in contrast to pronouns. Pronouns usually are before the noun, and adjectives normally follow. They have the article. This is the big thing to remember. The adjectives have the article, the pronouns don't. And as a consequence of that, because they agree in gender and number, actually I guess this isn't a consequence, they agree in definite status. Both the adjective and the noun will be definite. Usually that means that they'll both have the article, but as we know, there are some nouns that can be definite without the article, if they have a possessive suffix or if they're a proper name or whatever. But they'll both be definite. So an example of that is haish hatov. Actually, this is not an example of that. This is an example of a simple adjective, an attributive adjective. Demonstrative adjectives function just like attributive adjectives. So this means the good man. Agrees in gender, number, and definite status. Remember back when we dealt with adjectives? The good man. Now if we compare this with the use of a demonstrative adjective, rather than just a regular attributive adjective, we'll see that the demonstrative adjectives are really playing much the same role. Haish hatov, haish hazeh. So here we have the good man, here we have this man. So it agrees in gender and number, both masculine, both singular. They have the article, that's the big thing. Oh, I forgot, it follows. It's following the noun, as opposed to, if I go back, here ze haish is preceding the noun, the pronoun is preceding. Here, haish hazeh, it's following. So that's consistent. It's not always the case, but it's consistent with how adjectives normally function, attributive adjectives and demonstrative adjectives here. And they both agree in definite status, so the noun has to be definite as well. Now, the thing about the article, it makes sense that these adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, can only be definite, because if you're pointing something out, you are you are doing something definite. It's definite by definition. Maybe I said that in the last module. I'm not sure. But if I did, then it's a repeat. Okay, let's look at some examples of these beyond these couple that I've just given you. Zot ha'ir. Okay, ir is city, and here it's ha'ir, so this city. Now, what is this? Is this zot here? Is this a pronoun, or is this an adjective? Well, the simplest thing is to look and see whether it has an article or not. Does it have an article? No. Therefore, it's a pronoun. So you translate this is the city. It's the subject, verb is implied, and here's the object. This is the city. You would not translate this sentence as this city. To do that, you'd have to have hazot, and it typically would follow. So this is a sentence with an implied verb. Let's look at another example. Eile ha'anashim ha'chachamim. Okay, chachamim is wise, and anashim is men, so masculine plural. And eile, first of all, is this an adjective or pronoun? Well, does it have the article? Doesn't have the article, therefore it's a pronoun. So, you would translate this, these, because this is the common. In the near demonstratives, there is no masculine feminine, remember? So this is the common plural. These are, verb implied, right here, these are the wise men. Wise men. Okay, it agrees in gender, because this is common, which can accommodate both masculine and feminine, and this is masculine. It agrees in plural, this is the plural form, this is the plural form. Okay? Doesn't need to agree in person, because eile doesn't have person. So it's a pronoun. That's the big thing to remember, and then realize how to translate it. These are the wise men, not these wise men. Okay. Hana'ara hahi. Na'ar. Na'ar is young lad. Na'ara, with this ending is feminine, so young girl, or girl. He is she, remember in Hebrew? Now the question is this an adjective or is this a pronoun? Well, does it have the article? It does have the article. So we know it's an adjective. So we would translate this sentence as that girl. We wouldn't say that is the girl. To do that, we'd have to take this article off and plop this in the front. Or at least that's where it would normally be. So that girl. So this is an adjective here. So look at another example. Hamelech hazeh. So here we have king. We've seen that before. Definite. And hazeh. Well, this is definitely a demonstrative. Zeh is a demonstrative. It has the article, therefore it is a adjective. So we would translate this as this is the near demonstrative, this king. We would not say, this is the king. Let's look at another example. I've got two more here. Zot isha tova. So, isha is woman, tova is good. This is an adjective. It agrees with this in gender, number, and definite status, right? Gender is feminine, feminine. Number is singular, singular. And they're both indefinite. So it agrees. Now, zot, what about zot? Is it adjective or is it pronoun? Well, no article, therefore it's a pronoun. So we would translate this as this is, verb implied, a good woman. If we want to say this good woman, this here would have to be definite, and this would have to be definite. So you can't have an indefinite noun with an adjective, because a pointing adjective, a demonstrative adjective, points out and is definite by definition. Okay, last example here. Hanashim hatovot ha'ela. Okay, Hanashim, this is women. Remember, this is one of those words that does a gender flip, has a masculine plural ending, but it's feminine. Hanashim, men is anashim. Hanashim is women. Hanashim hatovot ha'ile. Okay, so here we have a regular adjective. It agrees with this in gender, number, and definite status. It's plural. It's feminine. This is plural, feminine, feminine in function, and they're both definite. Okay, so the good women, the good women. Now, what is this? Adjective or pronoun? Well, we know it's a pronoun. We know it's an adjective, sorry, because it has the article. So it's these good women. Now, what I wanted to point out here with this example is that if you have a string of adjectives, regular adjectives, and a demonstrative, the demonstrative will come last. So the order is noun, whatever other adjectives you have, and then finally the demonstrative. It comes at the end. So, to recap here, let me get a different color, make this clear. The big thing, like I said, to remember is this. Remember this here, and it'll really carry you through. They both agree in gender and number, pronouns and adjectives, demonstrative pronouns and demonstrative adjectives. Pronouns usually precede, adjectives usually follow. We have the article difference, no article with a pronoun, article with the adjective. As a result of having the article with the adjective, and because it is a demonstrative, we have both the adjective and the noun being definite, so they agree in definite status. And then two other things with the pronouns. The pronouns are the subject of the sentence with a verb implied. So what we're talking about with demonstrative pronouns are nominal sentences, sentences that have no verb and the verb is implied. Okay, I hope this makes sense. If you do some exercises, then I think it should come clear.